The mother says, "My children, the mother is very bad and the mother does not know if she will survive, so you will stay with your auntie." The girl says, "No mommy please. Don't go," and the boy says, "Don't leave us here alone," and the mother says, "Don't worry my children, you will be in good hands, your aunt will take care of you," and the aunt says, "Sister you can go in peace, that I will take very good care of them, I love my nephews," and the boy's mother says, "Sister I know you will take very good care of my children, but I also need to take care of our business, because when they grow up, they will take care of you." Sister said, "You can leave it to me sister. Everything in my power I will do," and the girl says, "Mom I will miss you so much and please don't go," and Mom says, "It's not just up to me, Mom she is very sick," and the boy also asks her not to leave. The mother says, "I love you my children," and closes her eyes. Soon the children start to cry desperately and the aunt says, "Enough, enough, get off her," and enough crying is over and now life that goes on, and she was about to leave anyway and screams, "Swallow the crying people." The boy says, "No talk like this about my mother," and she says, "Look at the way you talk to me boy, now I'm responsible for you and you must respect me." The girl turns to her aunt and says, "Don't talk like that to my brother. I won't accept you as my mother," and aunt say, "I don't want you, and I'll take care of business and you will obey me, and let's get out of here." The aunt pushes her nephews out of the house and says, "Let's go for a walk now," and the girl asked, "Aunt, where are we going?" And the aunt replied, "What a girl ingested. You don't care where we're going, we're just going." The boy says, "I'm not going auntie, I want to stay at home," and the aunt answers him, "It doesn't matter what you want or not, and let's go, and now I'm going to get rid of it of you once and for all." The boy asks, "Where are you going to take us?" She calls him ingested and says she doesn't care and screams, "Let's go," and walks right away pulling the kids. Further on, there are two men whose aunt pushes the children and says, "Here's your order, don't you want a couple?" The two of them are there. The boy says, "We even wanted a couple to sell, but look at this boy, how dirty he is," and the aunt says, "It's not my fault if this boy is dirty, and you didn't want both? I brought them both, and where's my money?" The gray-haired man says, "No, not like that, we won't do business with you, no, the dirty boy like that, I'll just want the girl," and the aunt said, "Just the girl, you agreed with me both, I don't even want no." The gray-haired man said, "It's up to you, I've got your money here and you're going to want to sell just the girl?" The boy, "I don't want, and the money is here," and the aunt asked, "How much do you have there?" "I want the 10,000 that was agreed." The gray-haired boy says, "Here, your money, and take this girl for you, and come here ugly boy." The girl screams, "Auntie, don't leave me here," and the boys take her and put her in the door. Car bags. The aunt pulls the boy and says, "Wow. What a boring boy. What do I do with you? Nobody wants to buy you," and the boy says, "Auntie, you promised my mother that you would take care of us, and now you sold my sister," and the aunt says, "My business was to sell you too, but you are very dirty." The boy says, "Aunt, what are you going to do with me?" And she says, "I don't know, I just know that I don't want you in my life and you're going to mess up all my business, and come here." She pulls the boy and tells him to sit on a box, and he asks, "What do you want to do with me, auntie?" And she says, "The ingested boy, do you want to know what I'm going to do? I'm going to abandon you here in this park. Nobody really wants you, and I'm not going to stay with you." The desperate boy says, "Auntie, don't do this to me please. And it's raining a lot and I'm very cold." The aunt starts laughing and says, "Your mother is already dead and the family business is now mine, and I want to get out of trouble and leave." The boy alone says, "My God. What am I going to do now? My mother couldn't have died, my God, my mother could have taken me." Years later, the aunt leaves the house and there is a man sleeping at her door, and she says, "What is this here? What are you doing here? You beggar." Comes out of my door, smelly and dirty, and the man says, "Calm down girl. As far as I know, the street is public," and she says, "I don't want to know at my door, I don't want to, and go there." The man says, "Come on, girl, at least it doesn't rain so much, are you going to kick me out like that?" And she replied, "I don't want to know, it's your problem and not mine, and get out of here." The man says, "Damn life," and she says, "And leave soon, these disgusting people at my door." The man finds food and thanks him by raising his hands to the sky. Again, the ant sees the beggar sitting on the sidewalk and says, "I don't believe it, this filthy beggar is already here, I'm going to end it now." She goes to him and says, "I didn't send you away? What are you still doing on my doorstep? You filthy beggar." And he says, "Girl, I'm across the street, your house is over there," and she says, "I don't care, you're leaving the whole neighborhood filthy, and get away from here, you filthy beggar." And he said, "You didn't go with mine anyway, and what hate is this?" And she tells him to get out of there again and warns, "If I catch you here again, I'll call the police." He takes his cardboard and leaves. She leaves the house and sees him lying in front of her house and says, "I can't believe this filthy beggar lying again at the door of my house. Aren't you going to get out of here? I will call the police for you." Accompanied by a police officer, she says, "That's the one over there, he was trying to rob my house." The police call him and say, "Let's get up, you're under arrest." The beggar gets up and asks what's going on. "What is the crime I'm committing here?" The policeman says, "The girl just told me that you were trying to rob her house, and is that true?" The beggar says, "No, she's lying, this is slander, and I was just sleeping here." The woman intrudes and says, "Police officer, are you going to trust him or me? I'm a good citizen and I pay my taxes, all right? And he just lives on the street, what does he contribute to society?" The beggar says, "That's no reason for you to treat me like that, no." The policeman says, "You're under arrest," and he takes you, and the woman screams, "Well done, whoever told you not to leave my door, I had warned you." Days later, a lawyer says, "I'm going to take this case here and I'm going to do his public defender, because he made a free request and I'm going to defend him." The judge says, "Let's start the section now. Mr. G.U. is being accused by Mayara for attempting to steal from her mansion, is that right?" Mayara's lawyer confirms and the judge asks, "Mr. G.U., did you ask for a public defender? And may I know where your lawyer is?" Soon the girl enters and says, "I'm here." G.U. asked, "Who are you?" And she says, "I'm your lawyer and I came to defend you in this case." And the judge says, "So since your lawyer arrived, can we start the session?" He asks Mayara if she had evidence against G.U. Her lawyer says, "Yes, we have evidence, and even the evidence is here and everything is documented, so we can solve everything, right?" The judge turns to G.U.'s lawyer and asks, "Do you have any proof that he is innocent?" She says, "Yes, I do, even I have camera footage that is proving that he wasn't trying to steal and was just lying on the doorstep." The judge says, "From what I understand in the report you gave me, do you have another charge, and what other charge are you opening against Mayara?" "I'm accusing her of incapable abandonment, child trafficking and inheritance fraud." And G.U. says, "What do you mean?" Soon Mayara screams, "Who are you, and what is your name?" And the lawyer says, "Do you remember me? My name is Isadora and you abandoned me." So G.U. says, "Is that you, sister? How long have I been looking for you?" Mayara gets up and says, "What? What are you doing here?" And Isadora says, "Today I came here to defend my brother and I have proof that you are to blame." The judge says, "Really, Mrs. Mayara, you are guilty, you are under arrest." And Mayara says, "This is absurd and I will not go to jail, and this is all a lie." The judge asks for silence. A policewoman enters the room and calls for Mayara and gives her the voice of arrest. Isadora tells her brother who looked for him so much, but that now she would help, and calls him to accompany her.